and one way to get people to invest is to give them the tax breaks. I know Lion has done a lot of investments over the period. How do you see this grade?
I think again a very good proposal. It's good to get the tax breaks for capital formation. So from that perspective, again, it's a good thing to do. And when you look at this particular proposal, you're talking about new technology, and we are talking about a more competitive economy. We are talking about Sri Lanka being a more export-oriented nation, again competing outside, and these kinds of proposals do help in making Sri Lankan businesses, the Sri Lankan economy more competitive. On the energy side, again, it's a very interesting and a good proposal, because if you take our balance of payments and sort of analyze it, 25% of our imports are petroleum based, and a lot of that petroleum goes into generate energy. So anything that we can do to reduce that component in the import bill will also help on the balance of payments. So again, a very good proposal looking at on the energy side.
All right. I see it on the marketing front as well. You know, when I mean, you know, from tourism point of view, they always talk of sustainable development. So energy efficiency, giving us that opportunity to, develop. And I mean, we like to call ourselves, in the future, 100% carbon neutral. And if we are able to do that, and these kind of incentives will definitely motivate our engineering teams to go out there and, look at more models to come out and do that.
And invest if necessary. All right, I'm going to go into a quick break now. We will come back with a little more discussion after the break. We had extra discussion, I think, on several aspects. As you know, there's no way we could have covered all of the proposals in this time. So I'm going to do a quick wind up because I just have a few minutes left. But I'm going to start with the Governor, a quick closing comment.
Okay. I think what this budget will probably indicate to people is that the government is serious about policy consistency. The government is also serious about the $4,000 per capita income level and going beyond that. To go beyond that, we need to expand our economy, diversify the economy. We have identified the 5 hub concept. Now we have 5+1: tourism, the aviation, the naval, the knowledge hub, the energy, as well as the commercial hub. All those 5 hubs have been catered to in this budget. You would find that there is a proposal which covers every single area, and of course tourism. So it shows that the government is serious about this movement upwards. And if we are all on the same page on that, the private sector as well as the government, then this march and this thrust becomes all that more better and simple. So I believe we have a great platform. We need to now energize the private sector to come into that, and I must say I'm very encouraged by the discussion that we have had, because all these gentlemen seem to have been able to grasp the essence of this budget, and that is very important, so that it will help them to go forward and it will help the country to go forward.
Suresh.
Yep. Riaz, I think we've said a lot of good things about the budget. And if you were to see what kind of focus the budget needed to bring, there were 5 areas that I would have liked to see. There was on investments, on exports, on curbing the deficit, on the balance of payments issues, and sustainable equitable growth. And there have been a lot of things done to cover a lot of these areas. However, if we all said good things, so let me give a few areas that I thought are missing in terms of this budget. Firstly, in terms of doing business, although our ranking has improved, there are still a couple of things we could do, and I think a one-stop shop for investment together with a land bank could have been a great fillip to investors. A second one would be on state-owned enterprises. I would have liked to see at least 25% of some of the profitable SOEs being put onto the stock exchange. So those would be some areas that I find missing in the budget in the midst of all the good things that have taken place.
Hemaka, quick comment.
Yeah, I'd like to say that this is clearly a development-oriented budget with emphasis on small and medium entrepreneurs and the rural sector. In a budget, you cannot bring everything that you would like to, but there are something like 56 points that the President spoke about, and there's a limit to how much you can do in a budget. I particularly liked the areas where poverty alleviation has been given a lot of emphasis. It's close to my heart. And also rural education, which has been somewhat neglected during the war years, has been given a lot of investment opportunities to revive our rural schools, upgrade our rural standards so that there's equitability across the board. So it's a good budget.
Yeah.
I think we recognize the consistent note in this budget, but if at all, if there were two areas which I would have liked to see a bit more, is one thing is a bit more support for vocational skills development, and secondly, there was a specific requirement from the banking sector to look at the tax treatment for the new accounting change paradigm for IFRS accounting, for which there was unfortunately no mention, but perhaps during the implementation there could be some mention.
All right. Kumar?
Yeah, I think a very good budget in terms of encouraging the economy to spread out into small and medium enterprises sector. Again, to comment on what I might have liked to have seen, a little bit more encouragement to the industry that's close to my heart, the tea and plantation industry. I know there has been some interest shown towards the smallholders, but I think about 30 to 40% of our tea is actually produced by 21 RPCs, and replanting is a key for the plantation industry, and I think if some support could have been extended to the plantation companies, I would have liked to have seen that.
Okay, that's good.
But again, I take the point that you can't please everyone in a budget.
Delighted that tourism is recognized more and more. I think the most important ingredient for tourism is there after 25 years, that is safety and stability in the country. I think with that, the government is recognizing that tourism will play a leading role in, improving the economy. And one of my concerns have always been that over-taxation of the industry. So as long as that does not happen, and it's not happening now, we are very glad that tourism is being recognized.
Just a 15-second comment.
I think everything which has been said has been said, but let me emphasize the point which I started at the discussion is policy consistency. It is well known all over the world for an economy to develop, for investment to take place, there has to be a long-term policy consistency. So we hope that government, all the authorities will have the commitment, the strength to stick by this, and also to continue right through this period to 2016 and beyond.
All right. Okay. I need to wind up because we are running over time. I just want to close by thanking the panel. I couldn't have asked for a better panel. Thank you, gentlemen. You're very busy people, and the fact that you took time off to speak to us today in this groundbreaking live panel. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of News First, and thank you on behalf of KPMG. And I hand it back to Nadeem.
Thank you, Riaz. Fantastic job, might I add. And there you are, the 2013 budget in a nutshell. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us. Have a very pleasant evening, but don't go anywhere because coming up next is Primetime News.
Great job, Mr. Leela. Thank you.